Hello and welcome to our 7th episode of English is Not Rocket Science. I have just finished reading A Promised Land, Barack Obama's presidential memoir. It's been a very interesting 700-page long journey. I have learned a lot from it and I have pinned down 5 important things which I'd like to share with you today. Lesson 1. In a situation of crisis, you always need people who can think outside the box. Back in April 2010, the largest marine oil spill in history took place in the Gulf of Mexico. It was due to an explosion in the Deepwater Horizon oil rig. For months, both the engineers and the BP CEO claimed they had the situation under control and insisted to then President Obama that the situation would be resolved shortly. But it didn't, because neither of them had a clue as to how to fix something they hadn't anticipated. The spill went on to spread up to the coast of Louisiana, and to this day it is still impossible for experts to estimate the amount of damage that was caused by the spill for both humans and marine life. It is only when President Obama involved then Energy Secretary and the Physics Nobel Laureate Stephen Chu that the solution was found to contain the leak eventually. It's Chu's expertise and creative mind that helped put an end to an environmental disaster. In a crisis, you always need someone who can think outside the box. Lesson 2. World problems are not easy to solve, even for the most powerful political leaders. As Obama sheds light on the complexities that lie at the heart of the conflict between Israel and Palestine through the book, it becomes clear that similar issues are being experienced in Europe as well. Europe is not nearly as unified as we think it is. After the war, European countries vowed to protect each other in order to avoid a repeat of the atrocities of war. But the Union is slowly shifting towards intolerance, as it was illustrated during the response to the Greek financial crisis in 2008. Obama witnessed that shift himself as he walked into the European Parliament's bathroom only to hear a European official declare that the Greeks just didn't think like us. It was used as a justification for the Union's slow response to the crisis, confirmed by France and Germany's reluctance to help. This is a dangerous shift, especially at a time when the ideas of democracy and tolerance of the other are being redefined by a new wave of political and social movements across the world. If a continent like Europe that vowed 50 years ago to become unified is still experiencing lack of social cohesion, then the world has a problem. And a US state dinner or diplomacy with the countries experiencing those problems is certainly not going to be enough to solve them. Lesson 3. We often underestimate the complexity of problems that politicians face. I often disagree with politicians, but I must admit that reading about Obama's experience as a president has humbled my overall judgment of politics. Contrary to what I used to think, presidents and world leaders in general are very rarely alone when it comes to making decisions, and most of them can have tremendous consequences domestically and abroad. For example, the decision to go and kill Osama bin Laden in Pakistan back in 2011 could have had devastating consequences on the already difficult relationship between the US and Pakistan. Any miscalculated political decision has the potential to snowball. There is never a simple story behind political decisions. Lesson 4. Politicians aren't all corrupt, inward-looking, and inefficient. Obama is a living example of this. Whatever we think of Obama's performance as a president, it becomes even clearer as you read the book that he is one of those politicians who entered the job fully committed to try and make a positive, lasting impact on communities. And he's not alone. Every day, new policies and measures are voted and implemented that actually transform the lives of people, sometimes for the worst, but also for the best some of the times. With the book, Obama's goal was to inspire a younger generation of people to start a career in public service. He wanted to show that your voice truly can make a difference in the betterment of society, and he has successfully managed to convey his message as far as I'm concerned. Lesson 5. Politicians usually want to portray leadership as a macho illusion where you can't see behind the curtain, but not Obama. It's always about politicians being exceptional, which entitles them to be the first among equals. Obama gives us a view behind the curtain and shows us how we can find the exceptional within us. Unlike other politicians, he doesn't want us to emulate him. He wants us to create an environment in which we and everyone we work with can thrive. While we are bogged down with our daily struggles and the coercive trappings of the modern work environment, Obama gives us a tantalizing view of what heaven as a place of work environment would look like. There you go! 5 lessons from a promised land by Barack Obama. I would love to hear what you thought in the comments below. And if you have read it, I would be very curious to hear how you feel about the book as well. See you next Friday! Attendez, ne partez pas! Et notre petit exercice de grammaire habituel? Allez, on le fait. Les expressions courantes qui ont été vues au cours de la leçon. To resolve, to solve a crisis. Résoudre, trouver une solution à une crise. To think outside the box. Quand on réfléchit de manière innovante, en anglais, on sort de la boîte. On think outside the box. Pour dire qu'on est d'accord avec quelqu'un, I agree with, ou on n'est pas d'accord, I disagree with. Attention, quand on traduit, en français, on a le verbe être qui nous pose un petit problème. Quand on traduit en anglais, on ne traduit jamais le verbe être. C'est déjà contenu dans la formule agree ou disagree. To witness a shift, être témoin. To underestimate the complexity of a problem. Et to convey a message, faire passer un message. Et toutes ces nouvelles petites expressions, on peut s'en servir directement dans notre exercice d'application de cette semaine. Voilà 4 petites phrases pour vous à traduire. Notre petit atelier de prononciation. Vous le faites avec moi? A lesson. A lesson. Barack Obama. Barack Obama. A promise. A promise. The promised land. La terre promise. Politicians. Politicians. Leadership. Government. Environment. Mais an environmental disaster. Environmental. To thrive. S'épanouir. To hope. Espérer. Et voilà, I hope you had fun! N'oubliez pas de vous abonner si vous voulez progresser avec nous en anglais. Have a great weekend and I'll see you next Friday!